let's go to the next circular, which is very, very important, which talks about your molds and dies. So now molds and dies provisions are coming in multiple chapter. It comes in supply chapter also, it comes in values chapter also, and it comes in ITC chapter also. So all the three parts I have taken it together and will study in a consolidated manner. Yes, please try to understand this. Please try to understand this. Now, first of all, I'll tell you the concept of this molds and dies. Okay, so there is a person called as original equipment manufacturer. Okay, and then there is a person called as component manufacturer. So, original equipment manufacturer is the one who is manufacturing the main device, and within that main device, it wants to get a particular part manufactured from the component manufacturer. Okay, let's say for example, OEM is a mobile manufacturing company, okay, and it wants to get the battery of that mobile manufactured from a component manufacturer. So it is telling to the component manufacturer, can you just manufacture a battery for me which can fit into this particular mobile phone? Okay, this is the role of the OEM and the role of the component manufacturer. For this, the component manufacturer will say, yes, I'm ready to manufacture the battery for you, but I will need the molds and dies. Okay, I will need the proper specification. I will need a sample prototype, etc. From the original equipment manufacturer, so that I should come to know that what size of battery, etc. I am required to prepare, what dimensions, what specification of battery am I required to prepare. So for that purpose, the original equipment manufacturer will provide the molds and dies. Okay, it will provide the molds and dies to the component manufacturer, and this is generally given free of cost. Okay, OEM will provide these molds and dies free of cost to the component manufacturer. Then the component manufacturer will use that molds and dies and it will give it to the original equipment manufacturer. Are you understanding this? So first there is a free supply done by OEM to the CM, then CM will use that molds and dies, and then it will finally manufacture the battery, and then it will supply it to the original equipment manufacturer. Manageable till here, everyone? Yes. Okay. Now see, please try to understand about the circular that they have given, about the clarifications, etc. that they have put it here. Now the first question, okay, the first question which arises here is, ma'am, when the OEM, okay, first question, when the OEM is sending those molds and dies, okay, when it is sending those molds and dies to the component manufacturer for free, means component manufacturer is not paying any consideration for that. Original equipment manufacturer is the supplier, component manufacturer is the recipient, and there is a supply of molds and dies happening, but for zero consideration. So ma'am, will this be considered as a supply? Will we consider this as supply of molds and dies? So the answer here is no, this will not be considered as a supply. Why? Why? Because there is a movement of goods that is happening. Okay, there is a supply that is happening. This is happening in the course or furtherance of business. But can we say this is happening for zero consideration? If it is happening for zero consideration, can we say this is not a supply as per section number 7? Section number 7 is not at all applicable here. Yes. Ma'am, does this fall under schedule number 1? No, this does not fall under schedule number 1 also. Okay, do you recollect in schedule number 1 we had all those transactions that even if it is done without consideration, then too it will be considered as a supply. So these OEM and CM are not related persons, they are not distinct persons, right? So in that case, schedule number 1 is also not applicable here. If schedule number 1 is also not applicable, then can we say any supply done by the OEM to the component manufacturer that will not be considered as a supply, and therefore there will be no GST applicable on this. Okay, this was the first thing. This was the first thing which was coming in our supply chapter. Right? Second part which is coming here is about the value of supply which is done by the component manufacturer. Now can we say OEM gave this molds and dies to the component manufacturer, then the component manufacturer will use that molds and dies, then the component manufacturer will make the battery out of it, and then the component manufacturer will supply the battery, the main product. Okay, the main product will be supplied by the component manufacturer to the original equipment manufacturer, and for that obviously it is going to pay some consideration, right? For that OEM is required to pay some consideration to the CM. Now the question that arises here is, when the CM is selling this battery to the OEM, can we say it is going to prepare an invoice on the OEM? Let's say the value of invoice is 1 lakh rupee. Okay, 1 lakh rupee plus GST is the value of invoice. Now the question that arises here is, when the CM is preparing an invoice on the original equipment manufacturer, on that, is it required to add the value of molds and dies? Is it required to add the value of molds and dies which was provided by the OEM to the component manufacturer? Is it required to be added here? So, ma'am, why this doubt is coming? In the first place, why this doubt is coming? So, do you recollect there was a section called as section number 15.2b in our value of supply chapter. Section number 15.2 was talking about 5 addition that we are required to do in the value. So, in that, do you recollect the clause B was telling that if there is any liability which was of the supplier, okay, if there was any obligation which was of the supplier and which was paid by the recipient to the third party. Do you recollect supplier's obligation which is paid by the recipient to the third party directly? Then we are required to add that in that value. Okay, but that is to be added only if it was the responsibility of the supplier to pay for that expense. Now, in this case, can we say the supplier is the component manufacturer and recipient is the original equipment manufacturer? Yes. Now, in this case, you will have to check as per the contract. You will have to check as per the contract that supplying that molds and dies was whose responsibility. Supplying the molds and dies to the component manufacturer was whose responsibility? If it was the responsibility of the OEM itself, means if it was recipient's responsibility and recipient had paid for that molds and dies while purchasing it from the market, then in that case, it will not be added to the value. But if it was the responsibility of the component manufacturer to provide the molds and dies, but that was provided by the original equipment manufacturer, that was provided by the recipient, then in that case, it will not be added. Then in that case, it will be added to the value. Right? So, whenever it is the supplier's obligation, okay, but it is met by the recipient, then we are going to add as per section number 15.2b. So, we'll have to check the contract that it was whose responsibility to provide the molds and dies. So, if it was the responsibility, everyone, as per the contract, okay, see this, as per the contract, if it is the responsibility of the component manufacturer to provide the molds and dies, component manufacturer means here the supplier. Then in that case, we are going to add the value of molds and dies to the value of supplier. But if it was the responsibility of the OEM, that is the recipient, to provide the molds and dies, then that will not be added to the value. Because if it is the responsibility of the recipient to provide the molds and dies, and if recipient has only provided the molds and dies, then what are you going to add in the value? Nothing we are going to add to the value. Are you understanding this? So, only when it is the responsibility of the component manufacturer to provide the molds and dies, but it was actually provided by the original equipment manufacturer, then it will be added to the value as per section number 15.2b. Manageable till here? Okay, that point is written here. Okay, that point is written here. So normally it will not be included in the value provided that cost of molds and dies was not required to be incurred by the component manufacturer. Means if it was not the responsibility of the component manufacturer to provide the molds and dies, then it will obviously not be added in the value. But if it was mentioned in the contract, if it was mentioned in the agreement between two that the molds and dies belonging to the component manufacturer will be used, but it was actually paid by the recipient, by the original equipment manufacturer, then we will have to add it to the value. Yes? Okay. And the last one. Okay. Last point relating to molds and dies which is coming up here. Please try to understand. Please try to understand here. Now, the molds and dies provided by the original equipment manufacturer to a component manufacturer on free of cost basis. Okay, please try to understand. Now, let's say the molds and dies are owned by the original equipment manufacturer. Okay, he is owning it and then he provides it to the component manufacturer so that he can use it and he can prepare the battery out. Now, can we say this is supplied? This is supplied by the this point. It is supplied by the OEM to the component manufacturer in the course or furtherance of business. This is done in the course or furtherance of business, and because it was done for zero consideration, it will not be considered as a supply. Okay, now please try to understand from this diagram. OEM has provided this molds and dies to the component manufacturer for free of cost. But can we say OEM would also have purchased this from someone? Someone would have provided these molds and dies to the OEM, and then OEM is providing it to the component manufacturer for free. Now, what was clarified? So, the question that arose here was, ma'am, think from OEM point of view. OEM has purchased some molds and dies by paying some consideration. By paying some consideration, it has purchased the molds and dies, and now it is supplying. Now it is supplying it to the component manufacturer for free. So, ma'am, on the output, there is no GST. So, what about my input? Will the ITC be blocked on that? So the circular clarified that, boss, this is done in the course or furtherance of business. Okay, means it was the responsibility of the OEM to provide it to the CM in the course or furtherance of business. So you need not do any reversal of ITC. Means whatever was the purchases of the OEM, on that purchases, ITC is not required to be reversed under your section number 17, rule number 42, 43. You are not required to do any reversal, even if there is no tax on the outward supply. Even if on the further supply there is no tax, still the OEM is not required to reverse any ITC on its input, because this was done in the course or furtherance of business, where it was a responsibility, of the OEM to provide it to the CM. Are you understanding this? Yes, this is the first point. This is the first point that they are telling us here. But ma'am, what if OEM purchased the molds and dies, okay, and it supplied it to the component manufacturer for using it and for making the battery, but where it was not the responsibility of the OEM to give it to the CM? Means CM should have actually used his own molds and dies, but it was provided. But in this case, it was provided by the OEM. Then in that case, when OEM supplies it to the component manufacturer, can we say then it was not the responsibility of the OEM to supply it to the CM? Still it has done a supply to the CM. Then in that case, can we say it was not the responsibility? It was not the responsibility of OEM to provide it to the CM, but still it has done it. Then they are assuming, okay, the circular is telling that when OEM supplies it to the CM, it will be assumed that it is not done in the course or furtherance of business. Means it was not required to be done in the course or furtherance of business. Still the OEM has supplied it to the CM. So first of all, this transaction is still not a supply. Okay, why? Now it is not even in the course or furtherance of business, and there is no consideration also. Okay, but so this transaction is not a supply, but when OEM had purchased the molds and dies from some outsider, now it cannot take the ITC of that. Why? Because the molds and dies that it is purchasing, it is supplying not in the course or furtherance of business. So it is considered as if it is for personal purpose, as if it is supplying it for personal purpose. So whatever was the input, okay, whatever was the input tax credit on that molds and dies which was purchased by the original equipment manufacturer, on that we have to reverse the ITC. Okay, on that particular purchases, we will have to reverse the ITC. When, ma'am, in which case? When the OEM is providing it to the CM, and when it was not the responsibility of the OEM to provide it to the CM. Are you understanding till here? Everyone, manageable till here? Yes, that is given here. So, however, if the contract is such that molds and dies belonging to CM are to be used, means OEM is not responsible for providing it, then in that case, ITC reversal is required to be done. Everyone, manageable till here? Yes. So I can just simplify it, and I can just give you a very small simple conclusion here is, see, whenever OEM is supplying the molds and dies to the component manufacturer for free of cost, then this is never considered as a supply. Please try to understand this. This is not at all considered as a supply. Okay, this is first thing. Okay, second thing is, let's say as per the agreement, it is the responsibility of the OEM, Okay, it is the responsibility of the OEM to provide the molds and dies. Then can we say the OEM will first purchase the molds and dies from someone by paying some consideration. Then the OEM will supply that molds and dies to the component manufacturer for zero consideration. And then the component manufacturer will make the battery out of it, and then it will supply it to the original equipment manufacturer for a consideration. This is how the entire transaction flows. Now, if as per the agreement, it was the responsibility of the OEM to provide the molds and dies. Now, see what is going to happen. Now, can I say the OEM, when it is providing the molds and dies to the component manufacturer, it is for zero. So, can we say this transaction is not considered as a supply? Okay, and because this is done in the course or furtherance of business, OEM is not required to reverse the ITC. It can take the ITC of the purchases. It can take the ITC even if there is no tax on the outward supply. Okay, and when the CM is providing the battery to the original equipment manufacturer using that molds and dies, then in that case, the value of molds and dies will not be included. Value will not be included in the value of molds and dies. Okay, value of molds and dies will not be included in the value of battery. Why? Only when it is the responsibility of the supplier to provide something and it was paid by the recipient, only then we have to include. But here it was the responsibility of the recipient itself, so we will not include the value of molds and dies in the value of battery. Okay, next one. If as per the agreement, everyone here, if as per the agreement, if it was the responsibility of whom? If it was the responsibility of component manufacturer to provide the molds and dies. Okay, but it was provided. But provided by whom? But it was provided by the original equipment manufacturer. Then what will happen? Then can we say original equipment manufacturer would have purchased the molds and dies from someone? Yes, original equipment manufacturer would have paid the consideration for that. Now OEM is providing it to the CM when it was not even required to provide, and it has provided it for free of cost to the CM. And then the CM is going to use it for the purpose of battery, and it is going to do the supply of battery to the original equipment manufacturer for some consideration. Now in this case, please try to understand. Now in this case, can we say, first of all, this transaction is anyway not considered as a supply when OEM is providing it to the CM for free of cost, and here can we say this is not even in the course or furtherance of business because it was not the responsibility of the OEM to provide for the same. This is not in the course or furtherance of business. Therefore, can I say here the OEM cannot take the ITC. It will have to reverse the ITC. Okay, why ma'am? Why it is required to reverse the ITC? Because it is further supplying, not in the course or furtherance of business. And then the component manufacturer is later using that molds and dies and making the battery out of it. Okay, now in this case, can we say supply of molds and dies was the responsibility of the supplier? Supply of molds and dies was responsibility of the component manufacturer, but it was actually provided by the OEM. So here the value of molds and dies will be included in the value of battery. So when the CM is going to charge the OEM for the battery, it will also include the molds and dies value with it. I hope now this is very, very clear for you everyone. Yes, manageable till here, doable till here. Okay. So this was all about my molds and dies. Okay, everywhere from all aspects we have discussed about the molds and dies circular, which is coming in 3 places. First, it comes in the supply chapter. Second, it comes in the value of supply chapter, and third, it comes in the ITC. We have taken all of it together and we have consolidated. Yes, everyone, simple, manageable till here.